evening, YouTube. You guys are now watching another segment of the Cali Effect. Today, we're going to be doing the last game before the deck profile is revealed. We're going to be doing Worms. Now, Worms, like I said, are a very interesting deck, and I'm going to take it a step back and go back to Worm Artifact, or I'm sorry, Worm Track Tricks Hands. It's not, it's really because it's the one I feel more comfortable with. The Shadow one is awfully inconsistent, is really just for gimmicks and kicks, but the Worm aspect of this deck is really good. We're going to be playing against, I cannot see his name. Man, I really wish that I could have some way to narrow it without it so I can actually see it. No, none of these buttons work. Okay, and we're playing against Harpies. This is not my forte right now because this guy basically can ruin all of my background. He's gonna hit my Forbidden Lance. I'm just gonna go ahead and chain the Book of Moon, flip his monster face down, so he won't be able to activate further or activate that monster's effect to revive or to resummon his monster and go for more back row. So I was like, might as well just cut my losses right here. Also, I get to prevent him from, attacking into my monster so I can activate Worms. Now, the deck 6, I have a strong feeling that he watches my channel. So shout out to you, the deck 6. If you did, I was like, how do you know I play Gang Zing? I just like, when he said, are you playing Gang Zings? I was like, no. But how do you know if I were? Then he said Worms. I was like, he must be a watcher. So shout out to you. The game was really fun. It definitely did push a couple of my patience. A couple of moves I did question of yours, and we'll definitely go into detail. And hopefully that if you see this video, it'll help you advance as a better player. I'm gonna summon Worm King and I'm gonna attack into his channeler. I really didn't care about his back row because first and foremost, if it was something like a Book of Moon or anything, that's fine. He can have that. I have breakthrough skill for that. And the second thing is that I had a strong feeling that it wasn't something like Book of Moon. So it so happens to be the Reckless Greed. And I'm like, okay, well, we could be in for some trouble if he actually did Reckless Greed into something interesting. The only problem with that, I felt that if he wouldn't have bluffed, if he could have bluffed the Reckless Greed by holding S until, obviously until he wanted to activate it, maybe it would have been a little different. But I got hit with the Dark Hole Struggle, which definitely sets me back a lot. My Fire Hand is in graveyard, Worm King is in graveyard now, so he's gonna attack with me for 1600 damage, and I'm just gonna be like, whatever. But to my surprise, out of the 2 extra cards that he did draw, there was nothing to his benefit. So I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna summon Zex effect sent Y effect, special summon yourself back face down. And had he played Icarus attack, I don't really know how I would feel about that. But Zex is gonna get over his Harpie early 1. And that's just one of the reasons why I feel Cyber Hercules is superior. Right now, he can't draw, and he didn't draw into any other Reckless Greed, so is not really in the best position right now. I think I'm going to take advantage of this. Soul Charge is amazing. I want to give you guys that. And maybe Lightning Chidori? No. Yeah, maybe Lightning Chidori. Lightning Chidori, send my Zex, and send my face down. There's a couple of options that he could have given with the Karagorgon. Well, no, Karagorgon wouldn't have helped unless he had another monster or something, because it would have definitely got over Yaggin. It's a lot of options, but he chooses Excited. Alright. And I'm not even gonna lie, I've lost a couple of games to Excited Knight playing this deck because Excited is just a jerk card in here. So I've been on my toes waiting for Excited Knight to pop up out of the blue and ruin my day, because if I do get Excited Knight just once, it could potentially cost me the game. This deck is built on field presence. I'm going to Yaggin, and for some reason, I don't know why I attack with both monsters. I just go right into the Diagusto Emerald. So thank you, TheCaliEffect. You were thinking very clearly on that. So instead of hitting for 2,900 damage, you go ahead and hit for 1,800. You're the best right here. I'm going to have the Worm King, the Fire Hand, and the Kataros back to back, and I'm going to hit for 1,800. Main phase 2, let's just go ahead and set the Yaggin, set the Soul Charge, and set this time space trap hole. Nothing else to be saying. Passing back to him. Still can't draw. That's fine. I'm really in a high position. Now, this play, I guess you guys could call it questionable, but mainly I've seen hands in just about every single deck, and so I'm like, how do I get over this back row opposition and make sure that it's not a hand? So I flip the Yaggin, and then I summon the Zex, and then I go into Miro Geist. Well, obviously, I'm sending Cataros back to graveyard, but I'm going to the Miro Guys. My biggest reason why Miro Guys is because I did not want to lose to a hand. I did not want to lose to a graveyard effect. So I'm like, Miro Guys, just get over that threat. You can never be too safe. And it's a Harpie monster, so I'm like, no hysteric party for you for that card. And it also puts enough monsters in my graveyard to activate Diagusto Emerald one more time. And I feel like that really set me up to be in a really good position to just like be able to forte myself, to defend myself. I'm definitely out advantaged him. He probably could go into another extra time knowing him. That's how good players do. I mean, sometimes they just have it. And if he did, I felt that I would be in a better position now than before. It's going to go a Steric Sign to add Elegant Eagle. And anytime you can activate and resolve Diagusto Emerald's effect twice, I mean, I'm not going to lie, that's pretty nasty. And he's going to go Harpie Lady monster. Elegant Egotist is going to follow, getting him another Harpie Lady to the field. It's going to be Cyber Harpie Lady. And then I think he would go into Exciton. Exciton would be the smart idea. Oh, no, it wouldn't, because you would lose your Exteric Sign. He's going to go into it anyways. And yes, I do have a response. Got Solemn Warning. I think that practically seals the game. Alright, guys. Game 2, we're going to get into it. I really feel confident since I won game 1, and I opened with the methodical Thunder King Ryo, and not only that, he allows me to go first. So I'm going to just summon the Thunder King Ryo, and then I'm going to set the back row and then pass my turn. I really feel very confident with a Thunder King Ryo on board when you open it. More often than not, when you open Thunder King Ryo, it just opens so many problems with the opponent. They either have to deal with the Thunder King Ryo in ways that they probably want to deal with your other monsters, or they just get really hurt by the Thunder King Ryo, because it's not much else to say. I'm going to be risky, and I'm just going to go ahead and attack. If he does get it off the field, hooray, I can actually use my Rogue Cataroses and stuff. If he doesn't get it off the field, then I have 1900 pressure every single game, and it's going to be back to him. Let's see exactly what he's going to do as a response. Nothing. This game has only gotten a little easier for me, just because, like I said, I can sit on Thunder King Ryo and continue to attack the opponent. I'm going to hit him for 1900 one more time. See if he's going to hit anything. Nothing? Man, I'm wondering what is his back row. Kind of scared, because is it a Bookaboo, maybe more Reckless Greeds? It has to be something, but I'm completely locking him out. Thunder King Ryo has really brought me an opportunity just to really control ability. He's going to summon Cyber Harpie Lady, and I can't have that on the field, even though he does hit the opposite card. And that's when I come to realize, hey, every time I set back row, he's going to hit the furthest cards. He's never going to hit the middle first, so maybe I should have paid attention to that in the very beginning. Ultimately, that's going to cost me my other back row, and he's going to compulse my Thunder King Ryo attack just so he can have 2,000 meter when he does flip something. I'm going to go ahead and counter with a Solemn Warning, and then I'm going to pass my turn. So, I mean, in theory, he's going to flip some of the Cyber Harpie and use it to a Cyber Warning. I haven't seen any monsters before, so I don't think he has any other monsters. We're definitely going to find out. Let's see what he does have and what he could bring out. I'm going to draw, and Thunder King Ryo is just going to hit for some more damage, because that's just how ill Thunder King Ryo is. We're going to bring him down to a substantially low amount of life points, but here's actually where the game becomes very interesting, because as you guys can see in the video, that the game is a lot longer than just this. Thunder King Ryo loses itself to a Dark Hole, and I'm like, man, how many times are you going to play Dark Hole? And foolishly, I accidentally, or not accidentally, I hit the Harpie's Hunting Ground, which I should notice by now. Harpie's Hunting Ground isn't much of a factor. He's gonna Hysteric Party me. Maybe I should have hit any of his other back row, but Hysteric Party is a really good card to open with. And I'm like, okay, so now he has 2 targets engraved. He makes Castell to bounce back my hand, and like I said, it's a whole new different ball game. He's gonna swing at me for 2,000, putting me down to 4,000 in his 23, and he's back into this game. So I'm thinking, how do I get how do I get over this? Like this is not gonna be good. I set the Yaggin, I set the meteor right, and I'm like, all right, well it's time to get some advantage. I do have Worm King in my hand, which is not so cool, but it's definitely time to get some type of advantage whatsoever. The Dex is obviously he's thinking about his turn. I'm like, man, I hope it's not a blind space typhoon. Anything but blind space typhoon. It doesn't happen to be blind space or not blind space typhoon. The typhoon my only back row. He's definitely trying to solidify his forte. I'm pretty confident that his only monster is a Castell, so I'm just gonna go ahead and put it back to his hand with the Nebula Meteorite. Any response to Deck 6, and he is going to chain. He's thinking. He's definitely thinking. Max C, that's fine. Max C is gonna actually allow him to draw if I decide to stuff someone. Then he changes Light Prison Mirror, so that's not nice at all. And I'm just sitting here like, yeah, at least I get the draw. That's the only thing that I'm thinking about. At least I get the draw. I really wasn't going to be able to do anything else with the Nebula. And then I started realizing maybe I probably could have just set another monster and then, you know, pass my turn and I could have drew. That's when I summoned Kataros and I'm like, sure, let's just make a raid play, get over his Castell and swing at him for some damage. And he drops the Flying Sea on me. The Flying Sea. So, what the deuce? Who does that? Who drops the Flying Sea on me? The sea. And so, like I said, this ball game, it just completely became a totally different one. With him holding the advantage, just because that was going to attack into my Yaga. And like, that's not cool. So I'm just going to go to the pulse. And yeah, nothing he can do. And actually, I could have definitely made this game a lot shorter had I compulsed on the end phase of his turn and just lost my Yaga. But not thinking, you know, Hysteric Party is a card. He's definitely gonna. I think he's gonna flip one right now and then just go blah, fuck your field. I'm like, whoa, that's not very nice. But like I said, I'm not gonna lose this game very easily. Let's see if this is the time that he activates it. Yes, he does have it. I'm like, what the fuck, whatever, max it. So, I mean, if he wants to help solidify his game, he's going to get too much ahead of the game. I'm definitely going to get something out of it. So I draw the card, and I think the better play would have been not to Exceed Summon because he already seen the maxi, but he's going to go ahead and do it. And what is he going to, Karen Gorgon maybe? Which actually, I mean, if I had worms, like, oh, Gaga Cowboy. Yeah, I didn't think that was too smart. I mean, it did put me a little in the danger zone because he did activate it, and now I can't Solemn Warning, which I've already done. But I don't necessarily think that was the best move. Maybe Karen Gorgon, maybe Daigusto. No, you can't play him wrong. Maybe anything, but Gaga Cowboy I just didn't think was a superior move. So, he's gonna think about it. He's gonna activate Cowboy again. I mean, he does hit for a good chunk of 1,600 damage from me, but I felt that the Exceed that he should have been playing should have advanced game state. And I'm like, I have to get this monster off my field. So I tribute them both for the Worm King. I actually am happy that I drew the Worm King now, and I'm just gonna go ahead and attack into it. Got Cowboy. Am I gonna lose it to anything, or I'm gonna lose it to a Phoenix Wing Wind Blast? And I'm like, who plays that? Obviously he does. Thank everything I have in Phoenix Chain to actually stop him from hitting the game in the bottomless trap hole for any monster that just so happens to be over 1,400. And unfortunately, that's all we need. And I was like, please, no Typhoon. Sweet. Phoenix Chaining and Cowboy after he uses both of his effects. That's just grand by the TheCaliEffect. I draw into the Yaga, which necessarily isn't a bad draw. So I'm like, it's whatever. And I'm really setting up for an exit play. I want to play conservative because if I do lose my monster to another one of his back row cards, I would have been wide open for any attack. And so I'm going to set the Kataros in past turn. I really wish that I drew Nebula because Nebula would have granted me 3 plus cards to my hand. And he's trying to sit on his advantage as well. So let's go ahead and do it. We're going to flip some of the Kataros. Its effect obviously gets negated. And I'm going to normal summon for the Worm King because I don't know why. I already normal summoned for the Worm King. I could exit something. But I guess that would have cost 2 monsters of mine. I'm still very curious on what is his back row. So it's like, what exactly can I do? He goes Duality into Harpies. Sweet. I have to deal with more Harpies. Well, I mean, which is, I guess, is perfectly fine. He's going to add... What do you add? I think Queen probably would have been the best one. I'm not 100% sure. I don't know his hand. If he does have a good hand with like 2 Harpie cards in his hand, then Channeler would be the better one, which I'm pretty sure he's going to try to go for. And I mean, like, who opens all, or who gets both the parties? And I'm like, okay, both parties. That's pretty good. I'm really dealing with Harpies at full throttle with everything they need. I'm like, attack for game, maybe? He's like the third hysteric party. And I'm like, really? 3? Really? All 3. All day. Any day. By myself. And he special summons 2 channelers and 2 cyber harpies, and I'm like, thank you, I can bottomless 2 of them. That's not bad. I can prevent him from XC. XC somebody with one of them. He has to draw a Harpie monster or a level 4 monster to be able to go into another play. And I feel like this is actually a really big game decider. I'm going to set a monster defense. I could have did other things. I felt like I could have castelled it. I couldn't worm keep it, obviously. But I was really playing patient because of his back row, which actually could have cost me the game. I mean, like, genuinely, that should have cost me the game had he hit the right card. Excuse me. But I'm pretty sure he feels confident as well. He summons his second Harpie Lady monster, and I'm like, oh my god, now I'm really in for it. And then he goes into Lightning Chidori. Chidori targets the wrong back row, but it was a 50-50 chance, and then he gets rid of my Worm King back to the top of my deck. But unfortunately, he's going to run into a Fire Hand, and Fire Hand's going to destroy his Chidori, special summon an Ice Hand, and I feel like I'm very strong. I'm back into the game right now. If he has nothing else, I'm really wondering what that back row is, but now I draw Mystical Space Typhoon, so it's like, perfect. I actually drew something. So, just going through my cards, I'm going to Mystical Space Typhoon his back row, because that's the only thing that would be stopping me from winning this game. And then I'm going to summon Worm 6, any response, which I would assume none. And that's going to be just about the game. Once again, thanks Deck 6 for the game. It was really fun. Thank you guys for watching another segment of TheCaliEffect. Please like, comment, subscribe, but most of all, enjoy.